What if the greatest leadership challenge you'll ever face isn't leading other people? What if it's leading yourself?
Welcome to the Conscious Leaders Unfiltered, the podcast where we strip away the masks, challenge old patterns, have the conversations most people avoid, and explore what it really means to lead with awareness, courage, and authenticity.
I'm Kia.
And I'm Cheryl. Let's get
Unfiltered.
unfiltered. Today, we have such an amazing guest with us, such a good friend, soul sister, just all things light and love, Liane Lambert. So welcome. I am so excited to have this conversation. In the reverse, usually I'm on the other end. So here you are, and I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm actually delighted, elated. I'm in a totally blissed out energy. I am so excited that you both are doing this. I watched your blooper the other day and it took me on a magic carpet ride. So I'm looking forward to creating more magic with you here. Yeah, that's it.
So what brought you on this journey to begin with? You said that you had that near-death experience. So tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your journey of how you got from there to where you are at now.
Well, when I say labyrinth, I really mean that. It has been that. And I do believe in soul contracts. That's just my personal belief. It's like the encounters that I've had, the partners I've had, and I'm not just saying romantic partners in all walks of life. I have, after that bucks. It felt like a buck. It felt like a buck hitting me. But after that accident, it's like something shifted in me. And every step was led. It was like I was all of a sudden walking along my destined path. And it wasn't an easy path. There were a lot of really dark moments. And there were times where I definitely thought I couldn't go on and something would just take over me. And I knew I can't quit. And I would scream out to source God, whatever your most high is, and I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't do this. And then I'm like, oh, of course I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. It's been this journey of moving through the pain, through the challenge, through the darkness. And as I kept going along this journey, it started to feel less of a struggle. It's like you go through so much that it just doesn't affect you anymore. And that's when I started to really be aware of my frequency having reached a whole other level. And in that place, I became more of an observer, and I was able to really study energy and be able to move it within myself and dive into magic. I've always been into mystical stuff even when I was young, and I've always felt very connected to spirit, which is energy. And yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Absolutely does.
I love that. Yeah, I'm like so into energy and so into like anything that is about connecting more deeply with yourself and really developing that like awareness and like understanding. And I really believe the most important relationship that you can ever have is with yourself and being so in tune with that. And when you're talking about the frequencies and moving your energy, I'm like, yes, give me all of that. Like I need to like I'm moving my energy just listening to it. Like that is so very exciting to me. Like I'm so inspired by that. I'm so like I just want to know more about what it feels like to go from being unaware to having this very elevated, heightened awareness of your own frequencies and your own energies. Like what does that feel like for you?
for me, it's the greatest gift. It's the most humbling experience. When I'm in my highest frequencies, I literally feel like I'm floating. I become one with the air. It's like gravity, it doesn't have an effect on me. It is obviously anchoring me in, but it's like I become an open channel. So I am grounded, but I'm also really high. That's where it is for me right now. And
Amazing.
but it feels electric. I definitely can, lights will go off and flicker and music. And I definitely feel very charged. I was actually in my tub the other day. It was the craziest thing. I was in the tub and I could feel the current moving from my hands. I held the intention. I activate my water. And I could feel it, the electricity, because water is a conductor of electricity. I could feel it moving in the water. I'm like, okay, this is new. This is cool. So you heard it first. That was my latest.
That I love that we heard it first, Cheryl, first of all. Second of all, that is so cool. And I really believe that, like, if you tap into your, like, I don't want to say power because I don't want it to be like hokey, but like if you tap into your power, you can really unlock anything. I really believe that. If you're intentional and very specific and very dedicated, I really believe that your practice can be so elevated beyond anything else. But it's one of the like more fascinating things to me. Really, really it is. 'Cause-
Absolutely. Well, we have been dormant. Let's be
Yep.
real. And I love that you use the word power because we are powerful. It's just been dormant within us.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I'm really the person who will be like walking down the street and they'll be like, the wind shifted around me. Something's about to happen. Like that has never failed me. Truly, it really never has. I'll be talking to my friends. They'll be like, how are you doing? I'm like, well, the wind shifted the other day, so something's brewing. this is
I love that
this
you
is
could
really a
read
thing.
and I love that you could read the wind. I love that. I'm a nature geek. Like for me it's trees. Like I go out in the forest and I just feel like I know everything that's happening in this world right now. But Liane, how do you, cuz you say that you are a lover of teaching and helping people find this within themselves, and I can attest to it. We held this beautiful masterclass with this group of beautiful people that you can see them shift from the first call to our last call. It was beautiful. But I
Yeah,
want
that's
you,
exciting.
because yeah, it was. It was so great. But Liane has this talent to really bring it out of people. So I really want you to tell us a little bit about what you do. Like how do you guide people to see that within themselves?
It always comes back to intention and really meeting them in their heart and connecting to their soul. If you really want to shift and really feel that transformation in a short period of time, my job is to guide you out of operating from that programmed mind, from that ego, and not to see it as a bad thing, but to at least be able to elevate your consciousness into a place where you can identify as a soul that is here to have a human experience, to connect to your purpose, and that you are never stuck. So I guess that is my secret recipe, and holding those frequencies, because I am a conduit for other people. I can share that energy so that they can feel it, and then the next is to give them the steps to empower them so that they can take charge in their own lives, that they don't have to rely on me, that they have everything that they need from within. So I am the best cheerleader that you could ever have on your team.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's
And I'm
amazing.
going to, yeah, and I'm going to say absolutely that's right. And I have witnessed this woman speaking with somebody who is in the darkest of places, who
Mm.
is in the lowest of vibrations, turn a sentence around that that person might be saying, and that person completely lights up.
Wow.
That's alchemy.
Wow.
That's
Just by,
alchemy.
I have seen it. I've witnessed it in real time.
Well, thank you for that reflection, Cheryl. I really appreciate it. I do. I humbly and proudly, I work in polar energies all the time, will state that I have mastered alchemy, and it is a gift that I want to share with as many people as I can.
Very interesting. How do you, or I maybe should ask, who do you find is most receptive or most resistant to your gifts, to your things that you're giving, and to just the way you move through the world?
Well, I will say I have both. You either love me or you hate me. And it
Same.
comes from wherever the and it depends where they're coming from. The people who are resistant to change, but they want the pot at the end of the rainbow. Well,
Hmm.
it's going to take them a lot longer to get there, and they're not going to like to hear what I have to say. I speak from a place of truth. And the ones who are just ready, they recognize that they're stuck or whatever their story is, and they just want to experience that freedom from whatever that story is. Then they feel inspired. They have hope again. They see that it is possible, and this is why it's so important to share our stories with one another so that they too can forge their own.
That's amazing. On like the tail end of that question, is there a message you feel that the world is ready to hear right now?
I actually just delivered it and I totally triggered a few people and I definitely inspired others. But that is because I'm so tapped in. I have felt just recently, I actually felt it at the last full moon, but I was guided to share it just this past week, was that we as humanity have evolved to a point where we've shifted, that the unconscious human is being overridden by the rise of consciousness itself. It is done. It cannot be stopped. I'm getting full shivers right now just as I'm
Me
speaking this.
too.
And
Got it. Yes.
it cannot be stopped. There are too many people who are aware at this point, and we're reaching new heights, new levels of consciousness, and the momentum is so big that I really want to take a moment to just reflect on how far we've come as a race. If you think back to our previous generations, but we get to be alive right now to witness the best transformation that we've ever been able to experience, and we get to do it consciously. It's truly exciting.
That was heat. That was fire. That was I'm so on board. Toot toot, because I could not honestly agree more with anything. Like, the time is really now. Like, we are in it. And when you said that you had triggered some people and like others were inspired and like invigorated by it, one time, let me tell you, I know for sure the people who are so threatened by change, who are like afraid of loss of power, change of like situation, position, existence, triggered. The people who are open to it are like, look, we have been working. We're doing generations of work here. And the time is really now, because all of those things that are unappreciated survival mechanisms, like what you're talking about, where you're really tuning in, you're tapping in, you're becoming conscious, you're growing awareness, you're leaning in. This peak here now, you're so right on the wave, right on the frequency. I 100% agree.
And triggers are good. That's what brings in that dark night of the soul.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. And this is why I also post everything that I post. And like I mentioned earlier with you before we got on the call, I have almost 800 posts. You can see my frequency over the last few years, and I share what I'm going through. I share my downloads so that you can kind of go through it almost like it's like a Akashic Records or a tarot box. Just scroll through, and whichever one's drawn to you, click on it, and I can guarantee there's a message for you in there. And to guide people, because as we are breaking free into higher levels of consciousness, it is forcing people who are resistant to change to sit in their own fucking energy. And that is a good thing. I'm not wishing them any suffering, but I am wishing them a heightened level of awareness.
Yeah. And people just have to expect that it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be painful, because you can't evolve into something without literally the physical discomfort that comes from change. Like, you can't run from that. You just got to lean into it and love it.
Love it. And work. You have to do the work. It's not just going to happen to you. You have to own it.
And the hard part about the work is actually just, again, it's letting go of the ego, swallowing the pride. There's no shame in the choices, decisions we made in the past. It's done. So like, just own it.
Can we go back to shame? What does shame mean?
For myself?
Well, we had a discussion before. I just want to talk a little bit about shame and how to that.
Oh, well, we went to the conference.
Yeah, with a conference. Yeah. And really, like, how do you move past shame? Because honestly, I think shame is one of those emotions that is so difficult to face and really let go of when it's so deep inside you. is so hard, but it
Mhm.
was brilliantly explained at that conference. And then you again have also added your own special touch to it. So I want to hear from you about
Okay,
releasing
yeah.
that shame.
Yeah, so this girl had a download right in front of us. It was brilliant, and in French, the soul is pronounced and ame, and she said shame. It's shushing the spirit, shushing the soul. It's quieting it. And so for me, shame is about that. The more we sit in that frequency, we
Mhm.
are burying our soul. We're not allowing it to rise above and through the experience, and just recognizing that, okay, I was operating from my ego self. I was operating in lower frequencies. I was trying to survive something that is whatever the story is. But
Mhm.
once you can recognize that this is just an experience and
Mhm.
you did what you did, own it, be accountable for the choices.
Mhm.
And when things are done to you, you flip it, because sometimes there are true victims to situations. But if you came here as a spirit and that was part of your journey, then I can guarantee that you are a strong warrior spirit that was supposed to live through that so that you can rise out of it and inspire another through that experience. Or you're shutting down a tyrant so that they don't do it to another. So to
Mhm.
own the strength and power that you came here to experience and share with others.
Liane, that was so real. That was so real. And I mean, like, I Cheryl, I don't even know if I've told you, but shame is literally the emotion that I carry with me in like from childhood to now. It's like my deepest like struggle to overcome. And as, talking with Cheryl, and she really is talking about, leading with your light, finding your light, leading with your light, and you're talking about don't quiet your soul. Like these are such inspiring conversations, and like the two of you just bring such a strong energy to it because you're really committed and you are really like what you're saying is true. And earlier this year, I said, I'm not dimming my light anymore. I'm not dimming my light. But as I'm listening to you, I'm like, these are really tools to like help me actually not dim my light because dealing with my shame, dealing with my feelings of shame are a huge key to unlocking that light. So I just, I'm just here, just a casual bystander,
No,
being
you
casually
are so not
inspired.
casual.
You are no bystander, my friend. But so for me, going through some of the processes, especially when it came to shame, it was giving myself permission or speaking it out loud, like saying what that shame is. And it could be to somebody that's in that safe space or that mirror. We were talking about mirror work and how I was watching this powerful moment that this person had shared on Instagram, and they were doing mirror work. So they were, oh my god, like, they were just so intense with what they were talking about with themselves in this mirror, and I'm like, "I don't know if I could do that." I was talking about that with Liam. I'm like, "I think that's something I'm gonna practice," and I think for me that that would be a brilliant way and a safe place to be able to talk about that shame and be able to release it, because once you say it out loud, it is gone, it's out of you. It's
Mhm,
gone. It really is. Like
mhm.
you just say it out loud and it has no power over you any longer.
Yeah, and that's intention. Write it on a paper. Hold the intention that I'm done with that part. That's part of my story. It's not who I truly
Mhm,
am. And
mhm.
I'm here to transform it, and then throw it in a fire and burn it. You're done.
Right. Sometimes I have conversations with Leanne though, and it's just like I'm so speechless. And at the end of like a sentence, I'm like, I don't have anything to say. like mic drop. Let's just get this. Let's just get this going.
That's
But
funny.
also moving past shame and moving into all of the other wonderful things that Leanne has done, she has also written this phenomenal book
Mhm.
called Karma to Dharma, New Age Guide to Becoming Superhuman. And I'm telling you, if you need, yeah, right there, right there. And Kia, I'm going to get you a copy because
Oh, I'm excited.
it is incredible. And it's It's Leanne's story. Well, Leanne, you share it. You share
Okay.
what it's all about because I'm like, I can tell you all about the book from the inside out, but maybe from the author it might be better.
Well, it's a guidebook, but it is a modern age guidebook in the sense that I take you from my bus accident all the way to becoming walking karma and living in 5D consciousness and all the downloads that I had, and I share it in a very real, relatable, simplified way, and I bring in all the laws of the universe, how energy works. What is magic? I talk about the dark and the light, no reference to color, but frequency, and to just bring in that heightened level of awareness of what it is to live as a being of frequency and what it is to live within this universe and how we can transform and elevate into a higher vibration. And again, and it's in a very relatable, down to earth way. You cannot help but shift just by reading it. It's impossible. It will elevate your consciousness. It's a guarantee.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it is truly a gift to anybody that gets to pick that up and move through it, because relatable is, I feel like, such a gentle term for how you feel when you move through the book. Like, it is so powerful.
Thank you for that.
I feel like it must have been very challenging to take something that is like probably so unfamiliar to so many folks just generally, and like you said, make it relatable so that it's easily like accessible and consumable for people to begin to really understand how to get there. Like that's clutch. That is very essential. I say accused by my boss all the time by being too academic with DEI, and I'm like, I get it, but there's like a point to be made. But that relatability and that like accessibility to the intention, to the point, to like the heart of a thing is so essential. So I'm really excited to read it. I actually cannot wait.
And it will
Yeah.
meet you wherever you're at. You can be somebody who doesn't know anything about this stuff. Clearly, Kiah, you're definitely tapped in. I want to say your frequency for you. It's a remembrance for you. But if you don't know anything at all and you're just curious, this definitely is the book to read.
Yeah, that is fire. You've said so many things that I'm like, I mean, no lies detected there, you know? Like, really good stuff. I'm so into it. I'm so about it. And I have to be like so honest. I don't hear people speaking about this so confidently and so openly. And it's just super refreshing, Liane, to hear you say these things in a way, just like say it with your whole chest, you know, like you are in this,
I
you are
know it.
living this.
I live
And
it. I live
yeah.
it, breathe it. It's everything to me. It is why I am here.
Yeah,
And
that is
and it
incredible.
means absolutely everything to me. It's why I survived that bus accident. It's why I went through the things that I don't wish anybody to go through. And I'm on the other side.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Just not to bring up a story for a story kind of vibe, but I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma a few years ago. And I did my first chemo session, and then I got an infection that's like super rare. They had to like get approval to get the medication. The doctors were telling my parents and my wife that the 48 hours that I was in ICU were going to be like really kind of anywhere nobody really knew. And coming through that experience on the other side of that was this like real clarity about how intentional I can be about a thing and how aware and conscious and what my efforts really mean. And my whole thing is the only way to the other side of a problem is through it. And that allowed me to see and understand a strength inside of me. So when you say the reason you made it through is because of this, I 100% identify with that. And I am so excited to hear somebody speak, like I was saying, so openly about that and what that connection to yourself, but in a higher, different, more intense, more powerful, more aware, less afraid way shows up for you. Fantastic. It is really inspiring, really fantastic, and it definitely resonates with me 100%.
Yay! And I'm just going to throw in one final thing there because it came through, so I need to share it. Truly, the reason why I speak on it so confidently is there is no fear in me anymore. I literally walk fearlessly through life. And seriously, I have avoided some pretty crazy stuff, but I know it's my frequency that protects me. It's my spiritual team. So I'm just throwing it out there because it came through. It is possible to free yourself from the prisons that are self-imposed in the mind.
Isn't it interesting though? So I know that you say you didn't want to share a story for a story, but I'm going to share one. And I've never shared this with Liane either, but I also had a near death experience when I was surfing. We were surfing, surfing. I'm going to put that in quotation marks. I was on a surfboard and because I made it seem like I was professional there, but we were on a surfboard. I was on a surfboard. I mean, there's a very long story behind it, but I'm not going to share it. The waters were really terrible. And we got out there and this wave came crashing down over top of me and I got knocked off of my board. And by the time I went to go get air, I couldn't get enough air because another wave was coming. So then it was like this washing machine effect of water. And I was like, I didn't know if I was being sucked out to sea. I didn't know if I was upside or down, or like I didn't know where I was. But I was fighting it the whole way. I was like struggling to find my way. I was struggling to find the way up or down or wherever I was. And then I had a moment that I sat there and I just let go. I just let go and I'm like, if this is my moment, this is my moment. And I just trusted that whatever was meant to happen was going to happen. And I felt so at peace in that moment, even though I was underwater. And then all of a sudden my hand hit the sand in the ground and I was like, my God, it's the beach. And I like dragged myself out of the water. But it was in that moment. And I mean, I was with another girl who went into shock and it became a whole thing. Like I had the ocean pouring out of my nose for days. But it was that moment that truly taught me to let go and to trust in things that are not within my control. It changed my whole perspective. Not only just to love life that much more, but that moment of just letting go. And I have never felt so much peace in my body, in my life. It was crazy. And that catapulted me into where I have become this version of myself. Like that moment. And isn't that crazy though? Like all like near death experiences have literally changed our lives in the most beautiful ways.
Yeah,
And
or
all taught
any
us something
tower,
different,
any
right?
tower
And
moment.
all taught us something different, right?
It's funny because I had one of those as well when I was away on vacation in my early 20s, and the undertow carried me, and but I was too young. I couldn't let go. That fight was in me. And I was managed to get my hand around the rope and I fought it. So I wish I would have let go because I would have been left with a lot less burns in my but that's a beautiful, powerful message because it is truly about letting go and just trusting. That is the hardest part of the ascension journey is letting go, surrendering, and trusting.
Yeah, that's very real because Cheryl, one of the things that you and I have spoken about consistently is what control really looks like and how it really shows up and what it does and how it just like it control and your ego are not moving. They're not progressive tools. Those are not things that allow for movement forward. They're not things that allow for inclusion, for openness, for really anything aside from like the self to just stay put, just stay safe, stay put, and not even, try to become. And I think that when we talk about the letting go, when we talk about the openness, when we talk about the awareness and the consciousness, these are so scary for so many people because even, trying to control other people's lives, trying to control other people's situations, trying to change people, like so many folks are so far away from the point of being able to be like, you know what? Let's just let go and let God. But then also, where was I at the point where I had to let go and let God? I'm sure I was still really in a position of trying to like really hold on to control and just that moment, Very interesting.
Well, I think a secret to that, though, is we need to remind ourselves that if we interfere in another person's journey, it's okay to offer guidance. But if you take on that responsibility, first and foremost, you're robbing them of the whole point of being here.
Yep.
That is their journey to have. And if they aren't willing to see the path, then they need to go through it. So I surrendered in that. And really, what is control? You're living in anxiety for a future that hasn't even been created yet. So the way out of that is to just be present.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to follow. So we're going to continue on with our 2 questions that we ask everybody.
Because I was about to say that feels like the perfect intro.
We're going to need like 5 episodes
to the question at least. So, but one of the 2 questions is, what does conscious leadership mean to you? And I feel like you really introed yourself really well with that last comment. So I'm excited to carry that through.
Conscious leadership is everything. It was actually in your intro. It's being accountable for our own life, our own reality, and to take the lead in your life and whatever direction that you want, and to be accountable for the energy you're putting out, because this is why we have been living in this really low vibration. If we are going to shift this planet, which is why we are here, we are part of its evolution, we signed up for this. So it is to be accountable for the energy we're putting out. What are we feeding into in all areas of our lives?
Every area. That is so essential. The every area part.
Every relationship, every
conversation,
every environment.
When we're walking.
Right.
What are you saying to yourself in the bath? Everything.
Yep. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? That is
huge.
Right. All right. Number 2, what is one daily practice or habit that helps you lead yourself with intention?
It's definitely the pause button. That is an essential part of my day. I try to hit that pause button and come into that present moment, tap into my frequency, and then I play with it. I say, okay, I see where you're at. Let's raise it up, and just through that power of intention, I've got now. I can say it took me a while to get to this place. I'm holding intentions for people, not that they can learn it much more quickly, but it is about alignment of mind, body, and soul, and because our bodies are an instrument, it's a tuning fork, and once you recognize it, then you're able to release the energy just through that intention. Okay, I see what's there. This isn't serving me. I talk myself through it. I'm able to let it go and come back to a present state of being, and then dial it up.
Amazing. It's time for a rapid fire round. I feel like we need some musical intro for like the rapid fire, like
dun, 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 dun.
All right, I'll do the first 2. What is one practice that instantly shifts your energy?
Did I not just say that? Music. Okay, music. Oh
music.
Yeah, instant. Music. Ooh, I'm like, again, because I see my body as a tuning fork, I can put on some old time. I love the oldies. I also like R&B. I like everything. I'm very eclectic that way. But yeah, music.
Excellent. Number 2, what book other than your own has most influenced your spiritual journey?
The Alchemist, 100%. I was guided to read it after I came out of that hospital 3 days later. And it was on a shelf. I knew I needed to grab it, read it, and I've read it a few times, but I'm an alchemist, so that was a life-changing book for me.
Very apropos.
Yeah, very apropos.
Kiah.
That book was a time, I can tell you. Yeah, I agree. Okay, the rapid fire question that I have for you is, what's one word you hope people experience after spending time with you?
Bliss.
That's my favorite word.
Because
I love it.
Most people have never experienced that. And for me to give them the frequency of bliss, that's an honor.
Honestly, I know. I love your answer, but if people are not watching this on YouTube when we post it, Kia's expressions.
Sorry, I couldn't even get the word unexpected.
Did you feel it?
That's amazing.
That's my gift.
I mean, I love that. Like, feeling a little blissful right now. Myself, like, that's amazing.
To share it.
That was good. Okay, let me try to refocus myself to get my next question out. Okay, Liane, complete this sentence. complete this sentence.
Okay.
The future of humanity depends on ...
Taking ownership over your own life. And I do need to throw in something because that's just what I do. I'm getting visions of movies and books. We want that. That's why we go and watch these movies and read these books. What is the difference between them and us is that they actually are accountable. They learn the lessons that they need to learn within the story, within the context of the story, and then they move through that fear and take inspired action, and they get that girl, they do that adventure, they survive that mountain, and we're no different, except the fear and ego holds us back. So accountability for the energy that we are putting out into the universe.
I love that. Yeah, accountability is a big thing with me. It's a big thing because it's so scary. And people really believe that being responsible is the same thing as being accountable. And those are not the same things. Accountability is a level of commitment and ownership and dedication that exceeds responsibility in my opinion. So I love
And it's something that takes absolute courage. You need to have massive courage to be fully accountable. This has been so good. Thank you, Liane.
Amazing.
So before we sign off, I do want to just make sure that either of you have any final statements that you'd like to have some mic drop moments.
Mic drop. I'm just looking forward to what's next. Get excited because there's always a next, and allow my story to be a blueprint to where you can go. And I can guarantee you I'm not stopping. So let's go, people. Join the ride. Join the peace train.
Yeah,
let's
I
go.
Love that. Toot toot. Maybe the second time I said toot toot.
I love it. I love it so much. All right. Well, everybody, we are going to sign off. So just a reminder that if you love anything and everything about this episode, please make sure that you go in and you subscribe, that you listen, that you comment, that you share it with everybody. These messages, these stories need to get out to everybody. They are so very important. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Liane. Thank you, Kiah. Oh,
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Liane.
The best group so far. I love it. And we really hope that you'll come back for the next episode. And Liane, I'm really hoping. So Liane is also, a side note for everybody, a master of activations. And maybe we could persuade her to conjure one up for us on our next episode, because I think that would be really amazing.
You might be able to get me to do that.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Some conjuring.
Right? I know. We're going to do it. Okay. Well, thank you so
for
much.
having me. Thank you.
Thanks,
It's been so much fun.
All right. Everybody out there, don't forget to go find the good and lead with love.